So next up, we're going to be looking at Chocobro. So it's actually been a really long time since I've watched him play. And not only that, he's playing Rosalina. I don't know how long he's been playing her, or if that's just like his new main now. But we'll see. Rosalina, obviously not as good as she was in Smash 4. You know, we're at the point where I probably shouldn't be talking about Smash 4 anymore, but God, I lived through that game way too long that I always have to bring it up. It's just hard not to. But despite all of that, you know, still a good character. Luma's still Luma, and the disjoint of that is still very good. And not to mention, she does have really good, easy ways to kill. Very good at edge guarding too. But it's Rosa versus Game & Watch. And on paper, this sounds rough for Game & Watch, because like Game & Watch doesn't really have the best tools for approaching. He just kind of janks you out and finds his way in. That's kind of the main thing. You definitely should, dude. So I know you're a good player. And not to mention, I don't know what the interaction is between bombs and gravitational pull. So like, if he can only approach with Turtle, that's even worse. So it's like you're going to be staying very grounded at that point. And grounded against Rosalina is not really a good look. I know Game & Watch's dash attack is good at like separating Luma from Rosa, so I imagine that's still the case here. But with like Luma being extra tight to Rosalina, that's going to be even harder to do. So I'll kind of see what interactions pop up, and we'll just go from there. Again, I'm not a Rosalina player. I did play her a bit in Smash 4, but certain mechanics of Luma have changed since then, and not to mention her kill power is drastically different from back then too. So some of this is just going to be based off of like what I observe right now, and I just kind of have to figure it out from there. No, why are we buffering? No buffering. Okay. All right, let's see what happens. Actually, pretty good layout. Oh man, immediately. It looked like Chocobro was expecting like a button test or something. Otherwise, there's just like the Wi-Fi delay got him there. Yeah, so you have to be a little bit careful about how you're sending out Luma. Also, Luma has not been called back, so that's the reason why Luma's not following him. Yeah, that's kind of the thing, like right there. Let's look at that little landing situation. That was actually a pretty easy call out he could have made on his part. Because like if he stayed right there and like he already like threw out the down air, that's actually pretty easy for you to just like kind of whip punish him with like an F tilt there. Also, yeah, like not calling out back Luma just kind of led to the situation. And now Game & Watch has like a pretty good way to just keep her out, but honestly didn't get to do too much there. Okay, he tried to take him out there, but he actually did take him out with the Luma's mod. Back throw. Yeah, again, just going back way too far. Like, if he stayed at center stage when Game Watch did that down air, that would have been a very easy punish. Get used to Luma shot, actually. Call back Luma, call back Luma, call back Luma. Why are you not... Luma's dead! What are you doing? Okay. Just got him back on time. And then did he use the Luma callback attack? I think he actually had space to get like an up tilt in there. I have to remember that's the Nair that she has now. That was a really good snipe from Coffee Boys. Or, I guess Minster Sensei. Oh yeah, that was a really bad call on his part. Again, I'm not sure if you can gravitational pull that. Chocobro hasn't even attempted to use that at all to just combat the projectile game from Sensei. Yeah, see? Very easy punish right there on that down air. Okay, there we go. Easy. Yeah, that's the other thing. You could just hit bombs. Like, I think that's something that people legitimately forget about, is that you could hit Game & Watch during this, and if he's drifting anywhere near the bomb, then he just gets duffed. Because let me see. I don't know the exact frame disadvantage he's at when he does it. Like, obviously, if you hit bomb now, he's safe. You're not hitting him. Yeah, he's stuck in this for 47 frames. So every single time he throws out a bomb, he's basically throwing out a gunman. Yeah, I think he played Rosa back in Smash 4 too, so it's not really that weird. It's just we don't really associate him with Rosa. So yeah, like yeah, as long as he's near the bomb and you can just hit right through it, yeah, like the pressure's useless. People just respect that move way too much. Oh yeah, again, bad reactions there. This is online though, so I would trust him to be able to like kind of punish that offline, but it's just he's trying to play offline Smash and you can't do that with online Smash. That's really good to know, actually. Yeah, unfortunately a little bit late with the Luma attack there. Had the right idea at the very least. Good fake out. Yeah, I'm not sure if La Rosa really has a good move to just like kind of hit bomb. Like, at least if he's right on top of her. It might be a little bit hard, actually. That was just a mess up right there. I think he could have kept jabbing and it would have been okay. Ooh, getting a little bit greedy with that F smash. Okay, good that we jumped there. Otherwise, that was going to be very scary shield pressure. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta just drift away at this point. You don't want to go into Game & Watch at all. Yeah, at this point, like, you've just kind of given up on the entire game plan that you had to, like, take him out. It actually did give you that up smash. He actually messed up. It's just your reaction was a little bit too slow there. So yeah, like, you just started playing impatient. And you just kept trying to hit him. If you stuck to your original game plan, you would have kept it way more even. Like, he did not have a significant advantage on you. And if anything, he just kept doing the same thing over and over again because it was working. But his gameplay was not safe at all. Like, you just landed on top of him, and then he up-B'd just consistently. Just drift back, let him just do his up-B, and then you punish his landing. You're fast, as Rosalina, you're fast enough to punish his landings very easily. Also, I don't know if this is post-patch or not. Kind of hard to tell. Yeah, it doesn't say anywhere in the corner. Honestly, I'm kind of curious if Rosalina is going to be one of those characters that's going to get a late game resurgence. I kind of have a feeling like I wouldn't be surprised if there's still enough busted secret tech about Rosalina that's just like waiting to just like rear its head out at some point. And then just people start doing really well with her. And obviously the biggest thing in terms of that now COVID's happened, like there's kind of a stagnation in like meta development. But I have a feeling if Kirihara starts to travel again, I even know DeBuzz is doing things with Rosalina again too. So there's that. But now he's got Minmin as well. So I'd say it's more Kirihara. We'll probably see some good goods. Okay, now we got Duck Hunt. This I can talk about a lot easier. Okay, so real quick about this matchup. What's it called? Fair Bomb is like not really good because like you can just kind of throw cans to it and then it just stops. So as long as you just get rid of that pressure, you're just free to hit Game & Watch, and you're generally fast enough that you should be able to catch him in the air. It's just that he has a lot of maneuverability, so you got to make sure that you're kind of on top of him when you're trying to hit him. Not to mention, if you do up air, it just annihilates that thing. the other thing too is that the reflector is pretty good in the fact that if you're not careful about how you're throwing the can at Game & Watch, it will just go back down to you. And if he reflects the can on the ground, the explosion will explode and he'll bucket the explosion. So that can be very scary when he gets that going. So be very, very careful about how you use cans. Make sure you're specifically aiming to the top of him, but with how floaty it is, that can be a little bit tricky too. So can is good, and you want to bait out the bucket so that way you drop it instead of him like reflecting it. So you're looking to make him whiff more than for it to actually hit him. And then from there, you go ahead and punish him. And then at that point, it's a guessing a game if he's going to reflect it or not. And that's the better way to do it. Rising there. Yeah, I mean, if it gets rid of bomb, Rising there is not that bad. Rising fair, yeah. No, definitely. Because, like, Game & Watch does not have good forward-facing aerials. And, like, that's kind of the biggest thing. Like, an air's technically good, but it's just a little bit slow. Yeah, like if he's trying to approach you with this, it's like the hitbox is up here, so you can kind of hit him below. At least in terms of rising with it. Yeah, that's kind of what you play around. He doesn't really have any moves that outrange you. He just has disjoints. So actually, let me talk about that situation real quick. Because I feel like this scenario probably would confuse a bunch of people. Let's look at this. Okay. So, obviously at this point, like, he's relinquished control of that. So he did the right thing by aiming the can to the top of him. So I think in this case, it probably would bounce this way over around here, but he dropped the bucket. If you see Game & Watch in the corner and he's ready to just like reflect, like he's just holding it. I think if a Game & Watch is played against Duckhead enough, they're probably going to hold out bucket a lot longer than this guy has. What you do is you slowly approach and make sure you ping the can over him, and then you punish him. Don't let the can bounce in this scenario if you're trying to approach him. Just ping it over him and then go ahead and punish him. But in this case, it worked out because I don't think he played this matchup enough. And the other thing you need to remember about his up air out of shield is we can outrange it with fair, so you don't even have to worry about that being a punish on you. Yeah, don't land on top of Game & Watch, for the love of God. Ooh, that was a very scary kind of attack. Yeah, again, kind of a nonsensical move here. Let's call this out real quick. So, there, he did dash away, but like the second that he summoned a dare out here, he could have just like turned around and then immediately punished it. Also, the last thing that you want to be is on top of Game & Watch after he lands, because he's going to do some anti-air thing, most likely up B, but you know, he could even like up smash too. Yeah, again, it's like if you're throwing out gunmen, like use that more as a reflector bait. Don't really do that. Not a bad idea in theory, but he's too short for that to work out well. Oh, because like we'll kind of show that off real quick. So let's break this down. So does down smash. Unfortunately, he's just out of range for that to catch up. This puts him in way more hit stun than you, so you can just go ahead and punish him. So in theory, not a bad move, especially if he pressed something like jab or up. If he did up B, then he would have gone out fine. If he had a jab, this would have beat it out. But he's a little bit too short. Like his hurt box just ducks underneath that. And that's why I would recommend doing that move. Especially since he could just bring out the bucket and reflect it in your face too. That was so unfortunate. He missed going straight down right there. Let me just double check something real quick. I don't know how fast the reflective is. Okay, yeah, so reflection comes out frame 6. So definitely fast enough in that scenario, I think. God, I don't know what's up with this stream. It's just not working. Which is weird, because like most YouTube videos, like as long as you hit play, it buffers the entire thing. I don't know why this one's not buffering the entire thing. This is strange. Here, I'm okay with 720p. You don't have to give me 1080. What the heck is going on? Yeah, okay, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, again, he's just not watching the opponent at the ledge. And then, yeah, that was just like a really bad controller slip there. Like, I think he wanted to just air dodge straight down. Okay, yeah, that was the best conversion to get off of that one scenario there. Yeah, way too greedy with that up smash. Yeah. But yeah, if you knew your gunman distance, that was pretty obvious that that wasn't going to reflect. He went for the knowledge check. That's just desperation at that point. Never rely on that. Oh, yeah, so he's catching his habits now. Really good reflect right there, actually. But it was just obvious that he was going to go for the can there, so that was just kind of smart on his part. So it's like at this part, you can just kind of see that like Chocobro has like no game plan. He's just going to literally just like chuck out projectiles and hope something works. Like, okay. Why? Why any of that? Okay. So like Wisdom, I think you saw this one a while back too. So, okay, let's break down everything wrong with this play. Okay, so we got a gunman out. Cool. So, we can bait out or a bucket. Then, as Game & Watch is drifting into him, he decides to can right on top of him. And, like, there's no world where you're at 113% and your opponent's at 11% where a can-aside trade is going to even work out on your favor, let alone a character that could hold out the reflector and was actively doing so way before you even brought it out. And this should have been done as the reflector bait, or just to control the ground. And if you're throwing out a can, why are you moving forward in front of the gunman, especially if you're looking for that to reflect? You should have just like jumped in place and threw out the can, so that way you'd had to set up. Like this just defies all logic you could possibly have in this scenario. And then I think it's like 20% you take? No, I took 10-ish. A little bit more than that. And yeah, he died because he went for another can trade. Because, like, you know, generally speaking, when you go for the can trades, you won't die to 150, but if you're that high in the blast zone, you're gone. He didn't have rage, too. Like, no option for Game & Watch was going to kill you in the air. Oh, yeah, he just barely whiffed that can. Also, something to keep in mind is when Game & Watch does have the bucket fully loaded, he can no longer use Reflect, so you can be way more liberal with your can. So it's not a bad idea to have him get that, but he does have ways to, like, lead to the kill. Donuts, you actually came back. I'm so flattered. Dope. That's cool, that's cool. Glad to see you back here with the fam. So there you actually had to be really careful. So for you guys that are kind of not used to the Game & Watch matchup, if you look at this. So after like that third one, he could have just stopped. And because he kept drifting in and trying to hit the ledge, he could have actually just like ran up and dash attacked him, and that would send him out again. And he would have had like a very, 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 very brutal rinse and repeat there. So that could have been quite a lot of work. Yeah, pretty good bait on his part to bait out the get up attack with that. That's why you just gotta wait and watch your opponent. Oh, I wish you were more confident. That was the perfect percentage to get the double clay pigeon on him. Interesting. Okay, I've never tried to purposely go for the clay pigeon fills, but I don't know how easy it is to get. That's smart though. Oof, yeah, if you threw out a back air, you would have just beat that out. Good text, we at least got that. Oh, we're getting desperate. Don't throw out smash attacks, you're gone. Yeah, he had that in the bucket the entire time. So, you have to be careful with that. But yeah, don't do this. Don't get desperate. Like, Chocobro, I know, like, I remember way back in the day, like, back in the Smash 4 days, because that was really the last time I really hung out with you and did a lot with you. Your biggest issue was, like, nerves, and that's definitely present here. It's like, once you're throwing off your game plan, just everything falls apart. You need to find a very good way to just, like, center yourself and just ground yourself, like, whenever you lose your stock. Like, the first thing that you should always think about whenever you lose a stock, especially as yourself, is like, okay, how can I play safe and time him out? That should always be your first thought. Like, whenever you lose a stock, just get into the habit of saying that to yourself, and then your brain should probably slow down by quite a lot. Like, just kind of drain out everything that's, like, going through your system, and then from there you should be able to get back to a solid game plan of slowly building back up to, like, evening out the game whenever that happens. So just get into the habit of saying that to yourself, and, like, really think about how your stuff interacts with them. If this is the first time you played Game & Watch, a couple things to remember: bait out the bucket as a reflector, so just make the can not hit him, or go for the option where you try to fill up the bucket with the clay pigeon shots, because if he only gets those, it's not going to be very strong. It's going to be a very, very weak bucket, so you don't really have to worry about dying to it until you're, like, at late percents. And at that point, then he can't even reflect you. So that will work out really, really, really well in your favor if you do that. The other thing too is, remember, you can always outrange him with your moves. So never be afraid to just, like, kind of space out with fairs and then just bait out his own moves. You have to remember, if he's facing you, he's not going to be approaching with fair because he physically can't do that. So if you're both facing each other, it makes it so much easier for you to actually just get it and hit him. If he's facing backwards, then you kind of have to worry about Turtle, just because that's a disjoint that will beat out your fair. So just always look to do that. Looks to control the ground with Gunman, because that's very good. He can't absorb Gunman, he can only reflect it. So he's forced to jump, or he's forced to hit bucket or shield. And that's very, very easy to play around. And once you force that out of him, you force him to up B out of shield, because that's probably the one he's going to do like 90% of the time. And then you just focus on learning how to punish his landings. After he up Bs, he cannot do a double jump. So there's a specific amount of time that he has before he touches the ground that he has to. The only other option that he has is just like air dodging and then like down airing. Only way he can speed it up. So yeah, do that, force the up B, then throw out the gunman to like cover the landing as he's drifting down, and then you just cover all the other options. You throw can to bait out the reflector or to beat out the bomb, and then you just punish him once you have a lock on where he's gonna go. Like overall, this matchup is not as bad for Game & Watch in this game as it was in Smash 4, but he very much loses on the neutral end, like significantly. Like there's just way more that you can control about him than he can control about you. Where Game & Watch wins is his punish game. Edge guarding is absolutely amazing, and if you aren't ready for bucket, it can come out in very clutch moments where it just reflects back at you and hits you. And not to mention, if he is able to, if you're bad about using your can and he buckets up your can, that can lead to a very early kill combo. So you need to be careful about those. But like overall, he should never really get in. You should have a decently easy time killing him just because he's so light. So as long as you're good at throw to cans, you're good at ledge trapping, he's gonna have a really hard time getting back. And not to mention, it's just like the myriad of ways that you can just trap his landing and trap him in the air. It's just hard for him to get things started if you know what you're doing. If you don't, he's gonna jank you out like crazy. So yeah, just remember that. He's slow. His frame data is like kind of deceiving for the most part. So just like learn how the animation works for those. And then just focus on playing safe, baiting out the reflector, and then outspacing him his shield so his up B doesn't catch you, and outspacing him in the air so you can punish him consistently. And if you do all that, you're going to have a very good, solid, just game plan against him. So, and I would say that applies for Rosa too. Rosa, like, understand what you can do with gravitational pull, because if you can do bomb, you shouldn't have to worry about that. And you should be able to do the bacon. It's just that he can keep doing it and keep you at the ledge. But yeah, no, overall, like, these characters shouldn't have that hard of a time against Game & Watch. I might be wrong about Rosa if there's some things I don't know about, but just in my head, I just can't see that being a bad matchup. It's just not horrible for Game & Watch is the way that I feel. But yeah, I can be a good on that one. But for Duck Hunt, slightly Duck Hunt's favor, but you know, Game & Watch can kill you easily. Just don't get janked.